For those of you who don't know me, hello everyone. I'm Chris Williams, better known on the internet as Voodoo Tiki God. I hope you had a great time yesterday exploring all that the Chesapeake Bay area has to enjoy. Personally, got a nice 18 holes of golf in. I was able to get to 200 strokes. For those of you who don't golf, 200 is not a number you want to get to. It goes the other way. But, and then also got to spend a lot of great time meeting and talking with everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed similar, if not more extravagant, fun. If you're not aware, you all are invited to join the Node.js Collaborators Summit on Friday. That would be tomorrow for anyone who's lost track of time. I know, it happens. It is free. It is where the TSC and collaborators do a deep dive on a variety of topics. Check out the OpenJS Summit GitHub repo for further details. And if you can stay around and are interested, please join. It'll be a fantastic time. We have another great lineup today of keynote speakers and sessions on the agenda. The first speaker, I don't know. I can't get a read on the person. Absolutely crazy. And I've lived with them for my entire life. So, hi, everyone. I'm their first keynote speaker. That was a great intro. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. I am also still Chris Williams, better known as Voodoo Tiki God on the internet. My talk is not going to have slides. So if you were expecting slides, sorry. My talk is going to be a little bit more about a story, a great story that unknowingly you are now part of. Consider this the beginning of a new beginning. This is a different moment. This is a change moment for JavaScript, having this event come back into play, bringing everyone here. But I do want to also, as the person who generally sits behind the curtain, sits behind the booth, I want to take a very important moment to bring up to stage the people who've helped pull this off. So if I could ask, and hopefully this is going to work, if I could ask all of the video, sound, the hotel team, the events team, all to come up on stage, I would like to give them a round of appreciation, and if you don't mind, a round of applause for all of the great work that they've done to help create this amazing experience that we all now share. So come on up. Even better, I asked them to make sure that they could do this on autopilot without me messing it all up, and they had no idea why, and they got really, really worried, which was fair. So thank you all very, very much. This is the team that pulled together this amazing event. All right, thank you all. Now, I mentioned it's a great story, but it's not one that I intended. It's never one anyone intends. I became accidentally a conference organizer. I became accidentally a lot of things that I never intended. For a little bit of background, I grew up in this area. Yes, I know we're in Maryland, and I'm from Virginia, and I should never say I'm from this area. I know. But growing up in the DC area, I thought I was going to be a lawyer for a bit of time. Thought I was going to be a politician. Thought I was going to be a computer geek. And I'm a little bit of all of those. I think all of us are a little bit of everything. But I digress. I'll come back to it, though. For those of you who don't know, JSConf was an accident. And that's not a bad thing. And honestly, much of what is in JS is an accident. A beautiful, crazy syntax accident. The language itself, for those of you who don't know, was made in 7 days, 5 to 7, depending upon how the story goes. It's not perfect, and nor are we, and that's all okay. The conference itself happened because I opened up a Razr V3. For those of you who don't know what that is, it was the best phone, peak of cell phone. Like, we've never gotten past that point. It just went downhill from there. You could fold it open and get clear calls. It was amazing. I wanted to go to a conference about JavaScript, and there wasn't one. Couldn't find one. So I may have had a beverage or two. I decided to do the next logical thing and make one. And that was not a good idea. If you have an idea of running a conference with no experience in it, I will warn you, it is a bit of a bumpy road. But what happened next is a thing I'd like to share with you, because it is what has brought all of you to these chairs, to this room, to this community, to talk with one another. So by setting up a website, thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna make an event, set out tickets, opened it up, had no tickets sold. It's embarrassing, very shocking. And it's no more alarming than that moment when you go to sign the contract for, if I recall correctly, and I'm getting a little old, so maybe I'm misremembering numbers, but hundreds of thousands of dollars that you are committing to a venue, to a space, to host people. And we were, at that point in time, I was about to go down and sign the paperwork for it. I think we had 3 tickets sold. That's scary. It's very scary. But it worked out. It worked out. And we all ended up here. Now, how it worked out, the mechanics, I'll be honest with you, because that's who I am. I'm very brutally honest. I, ashamed, marked the event as sold out. And by the time it takes, and for those of you not from the area, distance from Reston to Arlington should be about a 10-minute drive. It really should, if we could ever figure out roadways around here. It ended up being about a 30 to 40-minute drive, and in that time, the wait list had exceeded the capacity of the venue that we were holding it at. So while I was going to go down a little bit, what's the term I'm looking for? Hard on sleeve to cancel the event, by the time we got there, we had enough to run the event, and sign the paperwork, and began the very first event. At its start, JSConf has always been a little bit scrappy, a little bit different, and a lot of fun. And hopefully, what you've experienced over the last 2 days going into today, is that magic. The whole premise of this is about shared experiences. And I could get up here, I could talk about technology, talk about the time I cut my thumb open trying to hack a Wii controller to control quadcopters in a Berlin church, but instead, I want to focus on the thing that actually is the most important part of the community that we have here. Look to your left, look to your right. This is that awkward moment where I'm supposed to say shake hands. The people are what matter. You are what matters. I have never met more amazing people than I get the privilege and happiness to meet at these events. It's incredible. And it's something that we sometimes forget behind the ones and zeros, the digital screen. It's worth it to take those extra couple moments, fleeting moments, to talk with one another, to share a coffee, to maybe go paddle boating in the bay. And I mention this, going back to a great story, because I have a ridiculous compendium of crazy stories. Everything from enjoying almost burning down a castle in Ireland to 1 or 2 gray space things with golf carts. Happy to dive in when I'm not on camera. My best friend may be missing the palm of his hand. Well, moving on. But I wouldn't trade. Strike that, back up. There's also a lot of really rough things. And if you're asking yourself, this event happened like 10-ish years ago, 7 years ago, what happened? So I had to take a step away from the community. And I've sort of disappeared for a good bit of time. For those of you not aware, my then wife had a brain infection, and I helped her recuperate through that. Things didn't work out. We're no longer together. But it took a lot. This year, we unfortunately lost an amazing person in Michael Rogers. Gonna get through this without Kleenex, I promise. Michael was an amazing person. And I can't tell a great story without him. Because realistically, JSConf and the way it spread and all of the things that have come hereafter, I gotta say, he's a core and central part of. He was the first person to go, Chris, hey! If you know his infectious excitement, you know exactly what I'm saying. How do I do this? I want to run NodeConf. Okay. Do you have a plan? No. Okay, so in helping Michael run the first NodeConf as an adjunct to JSConf, it started what became the spread and the helping of all other conferences take off, which has created a vast network of events to bring people together. So, as mentioned, stepped out of the limelight. To come back and see so many happy faces, all enjoying one another's company, collaboratively working together, honestly, I couldn't be more proud of every single person in this room and that attend events. I once gave a talk, 2011, I think it was 2011, in Berlin, JSConf EU, about an end to negativity. Hoping, challenging our tech community to put the frivolous, negative, the down-speaking aside and work together. It would be very easy to say that maybe didn't work. It would be very easy to look at the internet the way it is right now and say, yeah, I don't think that worked out. That didn't play well. Except I disagree. I actually think this community is heading in a very positive direction. And it's important to note, it takes getting together. It takes talking with one another. It takes being human, being a little bit vulnerable, being okay to stand up on a stage and sing, "Don't Stop Believin'," with no pitch or capability at all. That was me, just to be clear. Not the "Don't Stop Believin'." I did Irene Cara because it's my heart song. But being okay with being a little bit open, being okay with saying, I've never golfed, but let's give it a shot. Being okay with saying, I want to talk and meet other people. I have the very, very happy thing of traveling the world. I'm very lucky to be able to do so, and I would very much encourage everyone here to do so. When you go and you enjoy different environments, you learn something. And I gotta tell you, Finnish people, they're awesome. I've never had more fun than eating reindeer and trying to learn a language that is very, very hard to learn, and Finnish is very, very hard to learn. So what I learned in that journey was the human language allows us and sometimes binds us from connecting with one another. So a challenge that I put forward to you, instead of going when you travel to the normal places, see if you can live like a local. Try to jump into the places that you probably wouldn't think to stop at, and I bet they surprise you. Enjoy the little moments that come through. So, great story. JSConf. Been the launch place for things like Node.js. It's been the place for sometimes things that launch and the audience gets upset about, and then eventually becomes a big thing, like React. With this point in time, this is a new generation. This is a new beginning for this event, for this community. And I do want all of you to know that every one of us here are all in on this. And we all support each other. And we all have stories. And we should tell those stories to one another so they can learn, so we can learn, and become better friends together. Be part of a great story. Live your life as a great story. I cannot promise you that it will be smooth. I cannot promise you that there won't be bumps. I cannot promise you that there won't be tears, because there will be. But all of that makes this human experience all the much better. It's not about everything going smooth. It's not about pull requests always going green. It's not even about AI slop, which I did have a fun idea of doing a multiplayer thing where everyone, but it wasn't worth it. Right now, we need to remember that this industry, these peoples, us, we are the part that makes this whole thing better, and that we also are all each other here for one another. I have 4 minutes left. Yes, on the dot. I know this was a bit heavier talk than people normally assume at 9 a.m., but I do have to introduce a panel. Before I do that, I want to do something different. Does anyone have any questions? I normally do this at the beginning of my talk. It's better. Any questions about JavaScript, about Berlin churches and cutting thumbs open? Wide open. Rachel, go ahead.
Has anyone kept a record of how many people have gotten married and had kids and all that stuff?
I think, I'm not sure if in room, because I have the lights on me, we had one that got engaged at JSConf. Yeah, right there, there you are. One that got engaged, now married, and if I recall, three kids, yeah. So we've had marriages. Is there a written down record? No. There is a fuzzy memory record of various items that have happened. And great question. There's a uniqueness about this, the experience of, Charlie's got a question. Hold on, I'm finishing this question. No. You should write a book. When I have a moment, I will be glad to. There isn't a written down one, but there is. I think there was a bingo card that we were doing to try to see what all had happened. So, all right. Favorite Michael story. Charlie, you're gonna have to remind me on the year. Walker Creek Ranch, NodeConf. Michael had this ridiculous idea of putting geeks in camping situations, in tents. 2013. And I don't know if anyone here camps. Many of the people who joined us did not. And they showed up expecting power outlets in their tents. And the tents they had to set up. So you think, setting up a tent, I don't even know how that works in the mental model. But sure enough, everyone eventually got it to work, and we all helped each other out. And it was a great time. But that wasn't the part that is my favorite memory. It was afterwards, where a small group of us, just because of timing more than anything else, went out to the beach and got a bunch of oysters and sat on the beach and shucked them. Still lives as a very bright and vivid memory in my mind and my heart. Talking about life, talking about just, at that point, I think the IO.js fork was a nascent concept in the world. talking about just the moment and the sun setting, hang out with friends. And that's what matters. That's why I couldn't compel myself, honestly, to stand up here and talk technology. I had to talk about us, humans, people. Because there's so much, not to steal a line from Tron Ares. Yes, I am the one person who went to go see it. Jared Leto did an okay job, I think. There's so much talk about AI and focus on computers. We do need a moment to take a step back and talk about ourselves. So, any other questions? Oh, time's up. So, thank you. That was a wonderful speech. Oh, yes, wonderful. Thank you. All right, bye. Hi, everyone. Great speech by Chris Williams.